is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Petco Park for the NL West rival San Francisco and San Diego. Alexei Ramirez and the Padres hope to find the sweet spot tonight and even the series against the first-place Giants. Last night's 5-1 San Francisco win, and the star Brandon Crawford a home run, and he knocked in all 5 runs. The Padres' Alexei Ramirez, he's enjoyed particular success against the Giants starter tonight, Johnny Cueto. And Padre fans hope he continues and they can snap this Giants 6-game winning streak. What a pitching matchup we have tonight, starting with Drew Pomeranz, 4th best ERA in the National League.
Boy, what a great story, Drew Pomeranz, because remember back in Peoria in spring training, Dick, is he going to be in the rotation? Is he going to be the left-hander out of the bullpen? Well, he has proven by taking the ball once every 5 days, and he has answered the bell quite nicely. When you talk about the numbers, the average on the curveball, that's what we're going to be looking for tonight. Uncle Charlie, you'll nose to toes. Opponents only hitting 145 off that curveball. The slugging percentage, not a lot of extra base hits, only 210. And the strikeouts, 30 strikeouts out of 41 strikeouts via the curveball for Drew Pomeranz. And as you mentioned, the ERA, 1.80. That tells you one thing. He keeps you in ball games, hoping the Padres can score 3-4 runs tonight and walk away with a victory for Mr. Pomeranz.
15 consecutive scoreless innings for the left-hander, and here comes Johnny Cueto. He's tough.
He is very tough. He uses all quadrants of the plate. In the last outing against the Padres, yeah, it was 9 innings. He did not give up a run. He only walked 1. Padres are going to get strikes, but what kind of strikes? Good quality, off-speed, adding, subtracting. Get a lot of ground balls. If the Giant infielders are busy tonight, that means he's got the fastball working down in the zone, the off-speed stuff, so he's fun to watch, Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, but he's a nightmare for a hitter to face. Well, Drew Pomeranz, he's had a terrific start as a Padre. How can he be better? Well, let's find out. He has a goal in mind, and we will find out exactly where he's aiming for the bullseye. Drew Pomeranz with Julie Alexandria when we return.
starting pitcher Drew Pomerantz.
That's a dandy.
That looked pretty good. Strike 3, second strikeout for Pomerantz.
Swing and a miss. That's exactly right. He punches out the side.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, tonight marks the 8th start of the season for Drew Pomerantz, the 3rd here at home at Petco. And as he tells me, he's got some personal goals in mind for tonight.
The next thing for me, I think, is staying in the game a little longer. You know, I've been going 6, probably averaging a little less than 6 innings a start, and I'd like to be out there getting 7, 8. I don't know how many times in my career I've actually gotten past the 7th, probably none, but you know, that's the next goal for me, is to be in the game and maybe, you know, kind of stay in there, because those other guys I'm facing are staying in there, you know, 2 more innings than me, and that's where I want to be at.
In truth, he actually has not gone past the 8th, so we will see how far he gets tonight. Coming up, don't miss Padres and Giants going head-to-head for Game 2 here at Petco. We'll be right back.
An outstanding pitcher, way out there, and it's a 3-run home run for Crawford. And makes the catch against the wall. Kemp will touch them all. So Game 2 of the 3-game series. The Padres falling to Bumgarner and the Giants 5-1 last night. Here comes Drew Pomerantz and the San Diego Padres trying to level this series and go for that rubber win tomorrow night, when James Shields will face Jeff Samardzija. Pomerantz has been a wonderful surprise for the Padres coming over from Oakland. As we mentioned earlier, is he going to be a relief pitcher, a starter? He has found his niche. He is the starter. And here's the Giants lineup he'll face tonight, brought to you by Hyundai. Denard Span leading it off, the former Washington National, then the youngsters out of the Giants organization, Panic and Duffy, with Posey hitting cleanup. Hunter Pence, a tick below 300 in right field, batting 6th. Brandon Belt, he's their hottest hitter, leads with a .311 average. Brandon Crawford knocking in all 5 runs last night in the 5-1 win. Johnny Cueto, the pitcher, hits 8th, and Bruce Bochy likes to have 2 leadoff hitters back-to-back, so Pagan bats in the 9th spot.
And we talked a lot about Drew Pomerantz in our pregame show. His scouting report is brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. He's got the nasty curveball. Let's keep an eye on that tonight. Hey, 50-50 ratio, fastball to curveball, and the scoreless inning streak is intact for Drew Pomerantz here at Petco Park. He's yet to give up a run here at the friendly confines of Petco Park.
And here's the Padres defense that will support him, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Upton, Jankowski, and Kemp in the outfield. On the infield, Brett Wallace gets a start at third. Ramirez there at shortstop with Perella at second. Myers the first baseman. And Derek Norris behind the plate, handling the 6'6" left-hander from Colliersville, Tennessee, and Ole Miss, Drew Pomeranz. Span steps up into the batter's box. Plate umpire Bob Davidson says play ball, and here we go, game 2.
I'm excited, Professor, for a big league ball game tonight.
This is going to be an interesting matchup. 3 runs might be it to win this one. These two pitchers, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. Span, a 272 hitter, as you saw, on a 69-degree hazy, cloudy, but we might see a little sunset before we say goodbye to this Wednesday, May 18. Flicked foul. There's Bruce Bochy, the Lord of Lompoc. Poway, the Prince of Poway. And he has done a sensational job as manager both of the Padres and the Giants. Everyone knows that even year, that's when the Giants win the World Series. They did it in 10, 12, 14, so they think it's going to happen again this year.
Well, I talked to Boch yesterday before the game. You just take a look at Bob Davidson and the Arbiters tonight.
Bob Davidson calling balls and strikes. Barrett, Tompane, and Scott on the bases.
He said even though his Giants are in first place, the one thing that has really kind of stuck out, he hopes to iron out, is that bullpen getting their closer Casilla.
Span just gets a piece of that one.
Let's check out the delivery from Drew Pomeranz, the big lefty, using all of that big frame, getting extended up on top. High 3/4. Going to keep an eye on the arm angle on that curveball tonight, because he'll drop down a little bit, just a little bit, to get a different angle out of the hand on that curveball.
Up high on the 2-strike pitch, a fastball. Well, that breaking ball is the talk of the National League as we've gone around the league. They're all buzzing about, man, that breaking ball is amazing from Pomeranz. There it is, and it's grounded right back up the middle. Didn't fool Span, and he leads off the game with a solid single to the center fielder.
That was a battle for Span, and he won that battle with a single, a grounder to the center fielder. And there's the curveball we were talking about. You saw the spike index finger on that curveball. The front foot was down, his body kind of gliding a little bit, but kept his hands back. And he is aboard.
That brings up second baseman Joe Panik. 2 for 4 against Pomeranz, his Panik. But he's been in a slump here the last week. 6 for only 41. 6 for 41, hitting 146. His average dipping down to 241. Padres, the leaders in the National League in double plays. I'd like to turn one here early. They've completed 46 double plays so far this year. One more than Arizona. Butted high in the air. Here comes Myers, and he can't get there. Panik gets away with a feeble effort on the bunt try. And Myers unable to scoot over into foul territory and pick it off.
You know, for the frame of Drew Pomeranz, we saw Will Myers go after that foul ball. He's a pretty good athlete in his own right on that hill. He can cover some ground.
So 2 strikes early on Span, but Span able to battle and get a base hit. Now 0-2 to Panik. Pulled foul. Well, Pomeranz up there with the elite in the National League when you look at the current numbers. His ERA 4th best in the senior circuit. 2nd best opposing hitters, batting only 173.
And when a starter gets in a groove like Pomeranz, he gets the feel for all of his pitches. Those numbers are just getting better and better, I feel. But the curveball is the big story.
Fly ball lifted to center field. Jankowski in and over comes Upton to call him off the ball and makes the catch. Panik flies to left. That'll bring up third baseman Matt Duffy. Got the Giants in their longest winning streak of the season, 6 straight. were one game under 500 when this streak began, now at 23-18. Madison Bumgarner, 5-1 win last night. Complete game, only Matt Kemp's 9th inning home run spoiling his bid for a shutout. Duffy enters the game at 2:45. And takes strike one off speed. So the Giants with a 1.5 game lead over Colorado, and the Dodgers with the Arizona Diamondbacks in 4th place and the Padres 5.5 back.
I'd like to keep it under 5, don't you think, Dick?
Yeah.
Keep it under 5 as much as you can and make a run. You never know what's going to happen from San Francisco, Colorado, Los Angeles, and Arizona.
Well, you got to stay in touch with the leaders,
Yep.
and that's what this series and the Dodgers series coming up on the weekend. And then they go, the Padres up to San Francisco next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. These 9 games are going to define how much the Padres are going to be a factor here going into late May. They need to pick up some wins against some very tough competition, and no breaks in the pitching rotation. We're seeing the best of the Giants, their top 3. Well, there is the news coming out of the Dodger camp is that Clayton Kershaw will not be pitching on the weekend. That's fairly good news. No one likes to see his name in that starting rotation. They'll get Maeda on Sunday instead of Kershaw. That slap foul.
Yeah, I think the curveball of Drew Pomeranz is going to make that fastball a little bit more effective, as that guy is going home with a souvenir. Is he going to give it up to a kid? You betcha.
Get him a contract. Look at the play.
Great extension.
Yeah. Oh my. How good am I? I love myself, and that kid loves him too. Nice going. 1 ball, 2 strikes. High and away.
You know, Mark Sweeney touched upon it in the pregame show about Drew Pomeranz. The curveball, yes, but to command that fastball is essential, because if he could dot that wherever he wants, and then that curveball for a strike, watch out. It's going to be a tough night for any hitter.
Duffy just 25, a star at Cal State Long Beach with the Dirtbags. They're having a good season up there. Line drive right to Ramirez, and Span scampers back to the bag. Duffy hit it on the screws, but right to the shortstop for the 2nd out.
Seen a lot of that early on in the season with the Padres up at the plate, and that's a hang with them for Duffy. Positioned perfectly is Alexei Ramirez.
Well, Buster Posey steps up to the cheers from the Giants fans who are here to support their club. He's been in a slump as well here of late. 6 for the last 41. His average down to 273. But he's enjoyed his times against Pomeranz. 5 for 8 and 2 home runs.
You know, over the last couple of years, even 3-4 years, the Padre pitching staff has really pitched Buster Posey well, as you see the numbers against Drew Pomeranz.
Span bears watching with 2 outs. He stole a base last night, his 5th, to lead the club. Way outside. Posey, a performer at Petco, hitting .316 career numbers, and there's Hunter Pence on deck. He too has had success against Pomeranz. There's the breaking ball right there at the knees.
That's not just a lollipop up there either. That's a firm curveball with some serious break to it.
You just marvel at how he gets that much action on a ball where he doesn't use the. I mean, curveball automatically. You say you got to have that wrist action to put the spin on the ball, and he doesn't. 2-1.
Here's that curveball. See the spike, and then he just throws it like his fastball. It's unbelievable.
It is.
It really is unbelievable. And then to see the rotation. I mean, that's great 12-6 rotation.
Dad taught him the pitch.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll talk about it when Mark Sweeney joins us, but just to elaborate what Mark was talking about, he said his dad taught him that because traditionally you throw a curveball, you got to get up on top and get that rotation. Well, a lot of kids, when they can't manipulate the ball like that, they start working around it. Hey, that spells trouble for the elbow.
Got it.
So his dad taught him that grip, and it's like, just flick it out with your forefinger, you get that rotation.
You think you could do it?
I'd break my fingernail, I think. It'd be fun to try, though.
2-2. Line drive, base hit. Kemp fields, and holding at second is Span. A couple of base hits here in the first inning for the Giants. And with 2 outs, here comes Hunter Pence.
Well, last night in the third at-bat for Buster Posey, remember that double he hit to right center field? Well, he's a guy who can turn it on a dime. He started him off with a fastball. There's the curveball. Going up, trying to jam him. My point is, Buster Posey, I think when he really tries to turn it around, he will try to wear out right center field. This breaking ball here, he stays on it nicely. And what do you know? He drives it to right center field for the base hit. Not over-swinging. Just put a good swing on it.
Is there a more perfect, beautiful swing from a right-handed hitter in today's game than Buster Posey?
I played with Will Clark, left-handed hitter. Will had one of the prettiest swings I had ever seen. And
but left-handers, they always look
right.
Yeah,
but
right-handers.
Right-handed side, yes. Buster Posey does have a wonderful, beautiful swing.
And speaking of beauty and perfect swings, here's Hunter Pence.
Yeah, what a contrast.
He looks like he's trying to kill moths in a telephone booth. And he can play. 299 average. Hit his 200th home run on Saturday in Arizona.
Well, Drew needs a punch out here or a weak grounder on the infield.
1-1.
Another thing we should keep an eye on is the location of that fastball from Drew Pomerantz. Tried to jam him right there, but missed to even the count. Pull on the infield and also pull in the outfield for Hunter Pence.
Had 3 hits last night, all singles. Wild swing, 1-2 at the breaking ball. Now the Giants have been moaning and groaning about taking advantage of runners in scoring position as you see that curveball again. In fact, they're hitting only 152 in the last 9 games. But last night they were 3 for 8. They have an early opportunity tonight. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Pomerantz comes up with the right stuff. The Giants strand 2. And the Padres come up with Travis Jankowski. Bottom of the first against Johnny Cueto. First strikeout for Pomerantz. Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by GMC. By Jerome's Furniture, where Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. By Petco, your complete pet store. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealers. So Drew Pomeranz works out of a couple of base runners in the top of the first inning, and now it's Johnny Cueto on the hill for the Giants. What a pickup for San Francisco, this free agent, as he was traded to Kansas City for their World Series run middle of last year, and then became a free agent, and the Giants were there with the most dollars, and happy they bought him. It's his 9th start. The Giants are 7-1 in the previous 8 games that he's pitched. Jankowski sends a fly ball to left field. Pagan pulls, and there's one away. Let's check the Padres lineup, brought to you by Toyota. You've seen Jankowski, then it's Will Myers. Matt Kemp with the home run last night is 10th. Then Brett Wallace. He's had a couple of hits in each of the last 2 games. Melvin Upton in the 5th slot. Then Derek Norris, Alexei Ramirez. Jose Perella bats 8th, and Drew Pomeranz 9th. Will Myers at 269 with 7 home runs.
Well, Johnny Cueto is just out there playing catch with Buster Posey, just hitting his spots. Flip up a changeup.
Think about Ernest Borg. Remember the pianist, the comedian, pianist, and part of his bit was he would give him, he's playing the piano, and he would say to the audience, "Pardon my back," and then he turned and said, "Pardon my front." Well, you get to see both the back and the front of Cueto, don't you?
You sure do.
Here's the breaking ball, freezes Myers, 2 away.
Well, with Johnny Cueto on the mound, a 30-year-old making his 8th start. His scouting report is brought to you by Tough Shed. Hey, he's Mr. Deception. We just talked about that. He will twist, he will turn. He's got everything coming at you. He throws the 4-seamer, the 2-seamer, the cutter, the slider, the changeup, the curveball. Tops out about 93, but he will add and subtract with the best of them.
Well, you old-timers will remember Louis Tiant. He was the first to show multiple moves, twists, and turns. You never knew if he was going to go over the top, throw sidearms, underhand. He might throw it with his left hand. And Cueto is a pretty good copy of Tiant. Had a tremendous career. He's already over the 100-win mark, Cueto. 8 years in Cincinnati before the deal to Kansas City at the trade deadline a year ago. Kemp, 10th home run last night, leads the club. 29 runs batted in as well, number 1. 7 for 24 against Cueto with a couple of home runs. Cueto gets a call on that first pitch. Ground ball to the third baseman Duffy, guarding the line. Long throw, plenty of time, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Johnny Cueto. On to the second at Petco.
To the top of the second. While the Padres ended last night's game with 10 players on the disabled list, yet they started today's game with only 9. Today marks the return of Alexi Amarista, and Andy Green plans to use him at shortstop. He's going to be cautious with his return, says he wants to start him slow as he just spent 15 days on the DL with a hamstring strain, but also wants to give Alexi Ramirez a little bit of rest. The corresponding roster move to send Tyron Guerrero back down to AAA El Paso after making his major league debut last night, and also look for John Jay available possibly off the bench tonight after he said he felt much better with that shoulder soreness.
Oh, that's good news. Thank you, Julie. And you also saw there on the graphic that Jabari Blash is back in the Padre organization as the ball flicked down the left field line foul. Brandon Belt leading off the second for the Giants with Crawford and Cueto to follow. So the Padres engineered a deal with Seattle, and for cash considerations or a player to be named later, Jabari Blash is back in the organization. They have sent him to El Paso, and they hope they can parent him along and that he'll be a factor down the line with that home run bat of his. There's John Jay. He's a valuable property, Jay, and he's been a good leadoff man. Padres need him back in the lineup. Slowly but surely get some of those injured back in form. Swing and a miss for Brandon Belt. Second strikeout for Pomeranz. Well, we have a moment. I want to send a hello out to Jim Tressel. Just turned 84, the father of our angry statistician. He's probably there keeping score tonight, and then he'll double check with Mike to see if he got everything right tonight.
Good fastball by Drew Pomeranz. I'll tell you what, these Giant hitters are probably going to, if he throws that curveball for strikes, they're going to have that curveball in the back of their mind and then bam, sneak that fastball by him in a good location for the strikeout.
Here's the hitting star for the Giants last night, Brandon Crawford. In the second inning with a couple of men on, he delivered this blow, and it was deadly to the Padres' hopes. A 3-run home run, 423 feet. Brandon's 5th of the season. Early 3-0 lead, and the Giants went on to a 5-1 win, and Crawford chipped in with a sac fly and an RBI double to knock in all 5 runs for the Giants.
Well, I said it last night and I'll say it again. How he got on top of that high pitch up and away and sent it to the right center field gap for the home run is beyond me. It really is.
Didn't go, says third base umpire Dale Scott. A ball and 2 strikes to Crawford. Colin Ray, who was victimized by the Crawford home run last night.
Yeah, too many pitches early for Colin Ray last night.
High pop up. Norris has a play. Man, that was up the elevator shaft for the second out. That'll bring up Johnny Cueto, the pitcher. Apparently Bruce Bochy's going to go with this system, huh? He's going to use his pitchers in the 8th slot.
I remember talking to Bochy in San Francisco last time, and Angel Pagan, even before Angel Pagan went off in that series, remember the number 9 spot? He did really, really well. He said, why not? Why mess with it? I'm just going to keep it the same. Plus, it gives him 2 leadoff guys, 9 and 1. And then if it gets to the point where Pagan leads off an inning, Matt Duffy becomes the cleanup hitter. You get some runners on for those guys in the middle of the order, so on and so forth.
Cueto will find a base hit now and then. 2 for 19 this year. 107 lifetime. You're swinging, you're dangerous. With a 2-0 count, I'm guessing that was more just to try to unnerve the pitcher.
Sure.
His rhythm more than he really was thinking about bunting. Pomeranz throws the strike. And another.
Well, one thing is apparent already here in the top of the second inning, and it's working both ways. Bob Davidson, the home plate umpire, he is given a ball, maybe a ball and a half off for each pitcher off the corners.
Breaking ball, strike 3 swinging. A couple of punch outs in the second for Pomeranz. Here come the Padres. Brett Wallace to lead it off.
Rules of the Trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. Hey, earlier, the professor mentioned El Tiante on the left. Louis Tiant, look at the deception back in the Bo Sox day. Johnny Cueto on the right. Little deception. Louis Tiant would change the arm angle. Look at him dropping down there.
Man.
Getting Davey Concepcion to ground to the left side. Hey, Louis Tiant, 20-game winner back in 1969. The Cuban-born right-hander had 229 wins, 3-time All-Star. Pitched 19 years in the big leagues, El Tiante did, and he was fun to watch as a kid.
He was, yeah, with the Cleveland Indians and then the Boston Red Sox. A man of many moves, and so it is with Johnny Cueto, as the 30-year-old Cueto, a Dominican dandy, ready to work on the middle of the Padre order. Brett Wallace, Melvin Upton, and Derek Norris here in the bottom of the second. No score.
And the thing about Cueto, Dick, is that he doesn't tax his body. He's got a rubber arm because he changes speeds and flips up the two-seam fastball, the BP fastball, the changeup. You know, he's going to give you close to 200 innings. There's no doubt about that.
A rubber body and a rubber arm.
Yeah.
Ground ball sharply and fair down the right field line. Into the corner goes Pence to dig it out, and Brett Wallace has himself a leadoff double. Well, the shift was on, but that ball blistered past first base by Brett Wallace.
Got to be patient. That looks like a cut fastball in that just kind of guides up there and out of the reach of Belt. Didn't have much break on it. And keeping that ball fair is a nice job by Brett Wallace, getting those hands in and keeping it fair for the double.
Well, the Padres a chance to take the early lead, and that's so very important on their season. They've only lost one time all year when they've scored the first run. Melvin Upton pops it up right field, slicing into foul territory, and Belt loves it for the out. That brings up Derek Norris, and a chance to identify the Giants defensively, brought to you by Renovation Realty. There's Pence in right with Span in center, Pagan in left, Duffy, Crawford, Panic, and Belt on the infield, and Posey behind the plate for Cueto.
Not a lot of miscues for the San Francisco Giant defense. Only 19 errors for the Gigantes. They're up there in Major League Baseball's best, top 3 in that category.
Norris checking in at 181. Tough luck season for him. Whenever he hits it hard, it seems to go right to a glove. Ball 1. Inside. The Padres start tonight. The pitching has been certainly solid despite the injuries to Tyson Ross and Robbie Erlin, who has had successful Tommy John surgery, and we wish him well in his rehab. But it's the hitting end that's been frustrating. The Padres are last in the major leagues, hitting .230 as a team. And there's a line drive right to the glove.
Wow.
The most predictable, and Norris just can't find a base hit. He shoots it sharply, but right to Duffy.
You know, your mind's got to start playing games on you when you square up baseballs like this and it finds the pocket of a defender. I never squared a ball up like that in my entire life. So as a big league hitter, you do that, you should be rewarded. But that's one of those situations where, especially a guy like Derek Norris, you won't hear him complain one bit. He's going to strap on the gear. He's going to put down the numbers and try to get him next time. But my gosh, that has got to drive you to the nut house. I'd be in a straitjacket. I need to be in one anyway.
Well, maybe he'll get a couple of bloops and that'll get him going.
There you go.
Alexei Ramirez, of all the Padres, he's had the best success against Cueto. So maybe this is the right man in the right spot with 2 outs and a runner at second. He's 9 for 14 against Cueto.
It'll be interesting to see how he pitches, Alexei. And Jose Perella on deck. First base is open, and with those numbers, you never know.
A ball and a strike to Ramirez. And up the middle, and he does come up with a base hit. Here comes Wallace around third. Up with it, it's Span, and Wallace will score, and the Padres take the lead. Ramirez knocks in his 14th run, and he's been a demon for Cueto. He's now 10 for 15.
Derek Norris squares one up, and it finds the glove of Matt Duffy. Alexei Ramirez gets one down by the label, punches it up the center of the diamond. They're playing with a pull a little bit, and that results in a run here in the bottom of the second. Sometimes this game is not fair.
Well, you're right. You don't want to take it to deep in your soul, or you will be on a psychiatrist's couch.
So now 10 for 15 for Alexei Ramirez versus Johnny Cueto.
It's something. Horses for courses, pitchers for hitters. Perella, 6 for 34 as a Padre, comes out at 176. Taps that one to Cueto. He's a good fielding pitcher and takes care of business, and the inning's over. But the Padres, who are 14-1 when they score first, have the early lead tonight.
We've had a lot of guys down, a lot of injuries, a lot of adversities really early in the season. But guys have stepped up, and you know, we're still in this thing. There could have been a lot of teams with, especially all the injuries we had, teams just kind of crumble. We haven't played the best baseball we should be able to play, but you know, guys are battling, and you know, we're in the thick of things.
Matt Kemp talking about making some lemonade here with the Padres, and Andy Green also incredibly impressed here at the quarter-way mark. Today is game 41. Very impressed with the way these guys have battled and picked each other up, and also the leadership that the veterans have given to the younger guys that have stepped up for those on the disabled list.
All right, thank you, Julie. And of course, slowly but surely, some of those wounded Padres are back in uniform. Alexi Amarista being one tonight, and Jan Solarte apparently is very close. He's at rehab assignment in San Antonio. Nice to get those bats back in the lineup. Pagan, the switch hitting left fielder, hitting .288, and Alexi back in the Padre dugout. Welcome back, little ninja.
Yeah, we wish him luck. Buena suerte, Alexi.
Fly ball to left, Upton toward the line, collects the first out here in the third. Well, it's time to look at the keys to the game. Mark Grant, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
I love the keys to the game, and one was don't quit on Cueto. Kind of went with a rhyming type thing.
I like
Cueto, quit. You know, battle some at-bats. You're going to get strikes. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. Just a lot of movement and good location from the veteran right-hander. And the second one, Pomerantz, continue all-star performance. I'll tell you what, if he keeps it up, he's up there in the top 4 ERA. He's pitching the ball. He's doing well. Way more. No, that's not correct. Way fewer many fewer hits than innings pitched for the left-hander. If he keeps it up, he should be
I
maybe
agree.
pitching right here at the All-Star game.
Right, wouldn't that be nice? And maybe get a couple.
It'd be nice
three
if I could get it out of
Padres.
my mouth.
Well, that's okay. You're not going to be talking at the All-Star game. We're going to give you that day off.
Exactly.
You going to come to it?
I think I might try to sneak in.
Trying to buy a couple of tickets. You know anyone?
I can hook you up with somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Span singled to open the ball game. And Buster Posey with a 2-out single also in the first, but Pomeranz pitched out of it, striking out Hunter Pence. 2-1. Padres with a 1-0 lead. And to cool these red hot Giants with 6 wins in a row. Outside. And 3-1 to Span. Mentioned it last night. He's ideally suited for that leadoff spot. Not only is a good singles hitter, but he walks a lot. Swing and a miss at the 3-1.
Consistently keeping the ball away. Of the 5 pitches, 4 of them have been on that outside part of the plate, up and down.
Panic to follow. To the point, Span has walked 21 times this year, second most for the Giants. Spoils that fastball. Well, tomorrow night, remember fans, Thursday night the game is 1 hour earlier. Instead of a 7:10 start, a 6:10 start. And we'll be on the air here, Fox Sports San Diego, with Padres Live, the pregame show with Mike and Mark at 5:30. It'll be James Shields for San Diego and Jeff Samardzija for the Giants. And there's the walk to Span with 1 away. First from Pomeranz. Tonight's game is presented by Sony, the leader of 4K Ultra HD. Panic fly to left his first time. Then on the weekend, the Dodgers here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Going to be the cocktail fest at the park on Friday night at 5 o'clock. Usually it's the beer fest, but I'm going to go to the see-throughs, I guess, on Friday night.
I love that expression, the see-throughs. That's so funny. Did you learn that from Drysdale?
Yeah, he liked the see-throughs. Now and then he might drop a little lemon peel in there just to give it color. And then Saturday, fireworks after the game. And hopefully the Padres will have some of their own during the game. And of course, always a Sunday special with Military Sunday. Some fans still filing in. Top of the 3rd inning. Runner goes. Norris's throw is not there in time, and backing up the play is Pirela. Span got a big jump. That's his 6th stolen base.
And with the left-hander on the move, on the mound rather, that first move, he is off and running. That's one of those where you just gamble. If he goes to first base, a lot of guys will get caught in the pickle, or they'll just bust second base and not even skip a stride. And that's exactly what Span did. As soon as that foot was up from Pomeranz, bang, he is off to second base.
Norris had a little trouble gripping the ball, and that forced a low throw to second, but Span had it stolen anyway. No chance for the Giants to get the run back with 1 out. Smothered foul. So 2-1 to Panic with Duffy to follow. Just it pleases you to see fans when they get a baseball souvenir. I mean, it just is an automatic. I'm as happy as I'll ever be. Look, high pop foul off third. Wallace hoping he has a chance, and it's just out of his reach. Just by our Fox Sports San Diego camera down there behind third.
You know, I think Brett Wallace had an excellent chance to catch that. But if it wasn't for Greg Lilly down there, if Greg would just get that camera out of the way, Greg, take your camera and go home.
He's saying, who is that?
He's a good
mook?
egg.
Who's the mook giving
Greg.
me a hard time?
He shoots the visiting show and does a great job.
2-2, and it's in the dirt.
Hey, by the way, we do have a great crew here, the camera crew, even the visiting crew. We get to know everybody because they're here every day. Hey, there's Andy. Hey, Ange. Nice try tonight.
Focus.
But also, you know, the ground crew here, you would not know that there was a concert here.
Wasn't that terrific? When I came in yesterday, I thought there's got to be some dead grass out there. Panic again lifts that into foul territory. Wallace, and he can't make the play.
That's Melvin's ball right there.
Yeah, Wallace just is not a third baseman, and he's playing there because Padres need somebody to occupy the position. And that's, Upton would have had a chance at it.
Yeah, I'm not saying Melvin should have had it, but I think he should maybe be a little bit more aggressive and going after it and calling off Brett, because that's a tough play for Brett Wallace. And where Melvin was playing, that is a long run, no question about it. But if he could get to it, that is the left fielder's ball.
You know, people say, well, wait a minute, is that really a tough play? It is. You know, if you're not accustomed to the way the ball hit high in the air, you've got to fight the stands. The ball is coming back to you. Yeah, it's you learn by having a lot of exposure, and he hasn't had much at third base. But so a second chance for Panic.
But getting back to the field, Professor, they did a great. I mean, you look at the field here; it's absolutely gorgeous, pristine, and just you would not have known that there was a concert here.
Every other concert, there's always been some dead grass where the stage was located. They found a way to be able to, even with all the fans sitting out in the outfield. You know, it's beautiful. Great job.
So Matt Balo and his guys and team did a great job.
And so does Pomerantz as he catches Panic looking. Strikeout number 4. So 2 outs to Matt Duffy, who lined out to shortstop his first time.
There's that command of the fastball that Mark Sweeney made point to in the pregame show. Boy, if he can command that and hone that and get those crosshairs right on the outside corner, it's going to make that curveball better. It's going to make all of his pitches look better and get great results.
So Pomerantz, who is striking out more than 1 per inning this year, he had 51 in 40 innings coming in, has 4 already tonight. Duffy takes it low, ball 1. Posey on deck. 1-0 Padres. We're in the top of the 3rd at beautiful Petco Park. Sails outside, 2-0. Outfield playing way over toward right field. Center fielder Jankowski. Big gap in center, left center. That's a strike. 2-1 to Duffy.
Yeah, a lot of real estate right up the gut there, and then down this left field side as well, as they're pinching the gaps right there in center field with Travis Jankowski.
Not good enough to get the strike call from Davidson. It's 3-1. Good speed carrying the tying run at second. Denard Span. Line drive hooking into the left field corner. Foul ball by just a couple of feet.
Well, the knuckle curve from Drew Pomerantz, it's worth another look because it's just unbelievable. See how he spikes that fingernail in? I mean, it's the flat fingernail on the baseball, the forefinger, and then the middle finger is on there, and he just kind of points and flicks that ball plateward. He gets that rotation. Look at that. That gives, and he continues to point down after that ball is out of his hand.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Pitching magic from Drew Pomeranz. Full count Duffy. Look at the curveball success. Opponents hitting only 145 against it this year. Will they throw him one here?
Why not? 3-2. First base open. And there's going to be a little bit of a visit.
Pomeranz and Norris in disagreement as to what they want to throw here. 3-2. And well, let's show us that.
It's real. He take his finger right. Well, he's left-handed, but his fingernail right here in the ball like that. Okay, it's not like that. It's into it like that, flat. And then he'll actually flick it like that to where it gets that rotation. And if you watch him on the follow-through, he'll actually follow through. His finger will continue to be like this on the follow-through. He'll stay down like that.
It's a stunning delivery. Ground ball, 2 hops to Wallace. He's got a long throw, and it's in time. A big stretch by Myers. And we may have a challenge on the play. We'll wait to see. And this is the part of the challenge system that I don't like. I mean, if you're going to challenge. Don't go to the phone and call your mom and dad and get a, what is that, I want to be a millionaire and get somebody else in the.
A lifeline.
Lifeline, yeah.
Well, it looks like the bee's on the bag.
Yeah, they did a toe dance, Myers. Yeah, well done by Wil Myers. Second game of the 3-game series with the Giants, and here's Drew Pomeranz, a weak wave, strike 1 against Johnny Cueto. Pomeranz has a couple of hits and 13 trips as a Padre. Jankowski and then Myers to follow with the Padres in front 1-0 here in the 3rd. Pulls that one foul. Well, in Colorado, Pomeranz actually clubbed a home run. How good is Johnny Cueto? Look at these numbers. Since 2011, his ERA is just second to Clayton Kershaw, as down goes Pomeranz swinging. The first, now the second strikeout for Cueto. Let's go back to that list.
Yeah, it's worth a second look because, Dick, would you agree with me that Johnny Cueto flies under the radar? He just doesn't get the love like Clayton Kershaw, who's probably one of the best left-handers of all time, including like Randy Johnson. But anyway, Chris Sale, Cliff Lee, we've heard about Zach Greinke. They get all the love, but Johnny Cueto kind of under the radar.
Yeah, that's why with that kind of ERA, when he takes them on, you think you're going to come up with a win today. He backs up Bumgarner, and then they're very excited about Jeff Samardzija, the former Cub, former Notre Dame wide receiver, who will pitch tomorrow night. Jankowski fly to left his first time. Samardzija.
You know, Samardzija with that mustache and that little goatee, he looks like he should be wearing a puffy shirt with a sword.
Yeah, Three Musketeers. Yeah. D'Artagnan.
A swashbuckler.
And they rave about his athleticism.
Yeah.
Hey, he's the two-sport star at Notre Dame.
When he's not playing baseball, he can be on the Olympic fencing team.
And Jankowski takes a strike, 2-2. Myers to follow. We're in the bottom of the third. Boy, got into his kitchen there. So the big three, Bumgarner, Cueto, Samardzija, have they produced? 18 and 7. The rest of the staff is 5 and 11.
Boy, imagine if the rest of the staff could just hover around 500.
The rest of the staff being Jake Peavy and Matt Cain. Rolled toward first, and Cueto covers, and he's there in time on the 3-1 putout. That'll bring up Wil Myers.
Okay, fans, MLB.tv, we talk about it all the time. How about MLB.tv Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD. Over 400 supported devices, includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Wil Myers struck out looking. Pounds that foul.
That sounded like he was off the foot of Wil Myers. Not a good feeling.
Inside, 91 on the fastball from Cueto. Matt Kemp hoping he gets a chance here in the third.
Oh, another one? Is that the second one this at bat? Off the foot? Doesn't look like Will's showing any pain on that one. It looked like it. Sounded like it.
Myers leads the club in runs scored and hits. Second to Kemp in home runs with his 7. Sails that one outside. 2-2.
Johnny Cueto will be instructing himself a lot on the mound. You'll see him with his hand kind of pushing the baseball like he's pushing it, kind of turning to stay square towards home plate. A lot of instruction as far as coaching himself on the mound to put him in the right position.
And he strikes out Myers again, his third punch out of the game. After 3, the Padres lead at 1-0.
extended as he raises one into right center field. At the wall, it is caught. Oh, what a catch by Torrey Hunter.
That's Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds. Time now for a great moment in All-Star history, brought to you by Geico, and that is a sensational All-Star catch in the 2002 game in Milwaukee. Torrey Hunter, the brilliant play. Top of the 4th inning. Drew Pomeranz now has gone 18 consecutive scoreless innings. And he faces Posey, Pence, and Belt, 3 tough hitters in the middle of the Giants lineup here in the 4th. Posey lined a single to right field his first time. Guy who could line a single to right field right here, Mark Sweeney.
I tried to pull the ball, but I go the other way.
You look at going to the grape, is that
you like my colors?
Oh, my.
Looking sharp. I like the pace.
Brings out my eyebrows, is what I heard.
Is that borrowed from Pomeranz? Did he?
I would never borrow his clothes. No chance.
We got to be careful. We've got a broadcaster and a pitcher in the game with the same name.
Yeah, I know. No relation.
And I understand Drew's dad's name is Mike.
It is.
2-1, and that's just out of the strike zone, a little high. I love his practice swing.
Oh, don't do this at home, kids.
I was just going to say.
Got to hit it out of the ice plant. Ball 4, and the leadoff man is on.
Well, the last time that Hunter Pence was up at the plate, Mark Sweeney, you can chime in here. We're going to go pitch by pitch. There's that curveball we talked about, right? Now keep that in mind because he's probably got it in the back of his mind, right? Then he shows him the fastball. There's the curveball there. Got him out in front. Swing and a miss. Fastball in the kitchen. You made the point earlier in the pregame show, Mark, about that curveball and the location of the fastball, how much it would work to his advantage if he could locate that fastball, and that was evident that at bat.
You know, guys, how many times do you say you want to be successful pitching up in the strike zone? Well, Drew Pomeranz has to have success with strikes at the top of the strike zone to set up that breaking ball. Because it really is, from the hitter's perspective, so hard to determine where that pitch is going, and if it's at the top of the strike zone, how I get my hands on top of the baseball.
Another pitch in the same spot, painting that low outside corner. 0-2 to Pence. Posey with the leadoff walk. The Padres looking for a double play chance here. Help out Pomeranz. High fly ball. He got a lot of that one. Kept going back. Is he going to be able to get there? Gone. Home run, Hunter Pence. There goes the scoreless streak. It ends at 18 innings, and Pence gives the Giants a 2-1 lead. His 7th home run of the year.
At bat to at bat adjustments, he gets on top of this fastball that looked like a fastball at the top of the strike zone. You could see it having cutting action, but left over the middle of the plate. And when he gets on top of it, he had some backspin. 0-2 count.
The end of the home run deck out there, the T-Mobile home run deck. Belt, big swing and a miss. He struck out the first time.
I'll be quite honest with you guys. I didn't think the ball was going to travel as it did to right field. I thought Matt Kemp was going to have a chance up against the wall on the track, but not the case. As Mark Sweeney said, he got extended, even though it was up and away. A little bit of backspin. Worked to the advantage of Hunter Pence.
So the leadoff walk, and Posey comes around to score on Pence's home run. 2 strikes now on Brandon Belt. Shift on.
You know, Mark, wanted to ask you too. You know, the thing that as you see the shift, what you have to worry about is Drew Pomeranz's adjustment from start to start. Is he want to be more efficient? 0-2 count and getting too good of a pitch. It's on the top of the strike zone, but do you pitch out of the strike zone in that point?
Especially like Hunter Pence. I mean, that's a great point because, you know, I called him last night the Will Rogers of hitters. He never saw a fastball he didn't like. If you're going to go up there, you better make sure you go way up and out. because if he offers at it, you pop it up on the infield, or you swing and miss, or you foul it back. But hey, it just caught too much of the zone for Hunter Pence to take it the other way.
One of the shorter home runs of the home season, only 357 feet, but long enough. It's a tough lineup, the Giants. And they come in here, several players in slumps. But they find ways to score, and they're going to be a challenge for opponents all season long.
High percentage in the gaps, and you can see that's hits by direction. That's what Brandon Belt has done a much better job. We said on the pregame show, this is a guy that hit a lot of home runs in the minor leagues. Hasn't necessarily transferred to the big league level yet.
Swing and a miss. He struck out for the second time. Number 5 for Pomeranz.
Well, I like the rebound. I like the adjustment from Drew Pomeranz after that home run, forgetting about it and throwing the curveball to get Brandon Belt. Boy, the front side really exposing the hip, the shoulder. Really flying open on that number 2 from Pomeranz.
But that pitch total climbing rapidly, and we only have 1 out here in the 4th inning already. 76 pitches for Pomeranz. You saw, it was interesting in the pregame show, commenting about how he wants to be better, and being better means I want to go longer into the games. And in fact, he's only gone 7 innings 4 times in his career. He's never gotten to the 8th inning.
And how do you counter that? You just got to pound strikes, but not just strikes, good quality strikes. A strike to me is right down the middle. Well, that might get pounded. A good quality strike is that knee-high fastball that you can throw 8 out of 10 times.
Crawford bunts it too hard. That's an easy play for Will Myers for the second out.
Well, guys, when you're talking about Drew Pomeranz, and he's a 2-pitch pitcher, he gives you different looks, so there's variations of those 2 pitches, but he doesn't show something else. It really puts the thought into hitters' minds. Is he going to have trouble moving forward with that? I think so, because when you try to eliminate something, and here's the graphic of it. Fastball, the cutter is a variation of the fastball, but there's not enough changeup involved. There's a different thought that you have to put in hitters' minds.
Drive to right field, into the gap goes Kemp to make the play. Cueto put some good wood on that, and it's a 3rd out, but a 2-run homer for the Giants. Clean, crisp Coors Light. Matt Kemp, active players in their ranks against the Giants, and look at Kemp. He leads all the players active in hits, runs, RBIs, doubles, total bases against the Giants, and he's tied with Adrian Gonzalez with 20 home runs.
Well, what I love about that is you see that most of his career was with Los Angeles against their rival Giants. So it really shows the bigger the game, Matt stepped up.
Kemp, then Wallace and Upton for the Padres in the back of the 4th.
And Johnny Cueto now pitching with the lead 2-1 thanks to Hunter Pence, just finding enough room over that right field wall. Kemp grounded to third his first time. They don't use the dramatic shift on Kemp, but Panic just a step or two on the second base side deep at his position. And Belt way off the line, almost halfway between first and second. Right at Pence for the first out.
The ball traveling a little bit to right field. I mean, the reason why I say the Hunter Pence home run just barely made it out, but that ball right there off the bat of Matt Kemp, it sounded like it was toward the end of the bat, but yet still Hunter Pence in right field kind of held his ground a little bit. I thought it was going to be a lot more shallower than it was.
One pitch, one out. Only 35 deliveries from Cueto. He's got an out in the fourth inning. Here's Brett Wallace. Wallace, a double and scored the Padre run in the second inning. Led off with a double and scored on Alexei Ramirez's single to center field. Wallace now is 6 for 7 against the Giants this year with 3 doubles. And Cueto falls 3-0 on the count.
2-0 changeup from Johnny Cueto.
Giants do impose the shift on Wallace. And there's a strike, breaking ball.
What makes it very difficult to, and the challenge going against Johnny Cueto is that he'll vary everything, but he has confidence in any pitch at any time.
And that one looped to left, falling in a hurry, but able to chase it down as Pagan for the second out. 2 away to Melvin Upton. Well, the highest first pitch strike percentage. Cueto gets that first delivery in there. More so than Kershaw, Lewis, Greinke, or Harvey.
Well, you think about offensively for the Padres, and that goes into your thought process. It's not necessarily just get me over fastball. It's any pitch at any time, but you want to be aggressive because he is aggressive in the strike zone.
Center field, that span, he'll have to play it on a hop. And Upton has the Padres' third hit of the night.
Now some of the adjustments that Melvin Upton has made, you see him standing a little bit taller, and also that front foot. That front foot gets down early and allowing him to use that balance in his swing. The bat speed follows, but very comfortable as he can pull his hands inside on a ball, even off the plate. Right there, Alan Zinter has done a tremendous job connecting, and also the trust factor comes into play as well.
So the Padres with their best base stealer. He has 7. Upton at first base with 2 outs, and Norris the hitter. Strike 1. Norris blistered his shot at third baseman Duffy the first time up, right to the glove.
Let's see if you get a chance, send him. If he gets a good jump, go. Cueto quick to the plate though. That's
strike 2.
Well, what you have to do, especially on the slide step, these base stealers you'll see take that jump, but you have to shut it down. If you see a slide step, you have to shut it down. That combination of Cueto being quick to the plate and Buster Posey and his accuracy to second base, you're an out.
So Norris in the hole, 2 strikes. Upton at first, 2 away. He just did scramble back, and the throw was on one hop, and that saved Upton.
I think Melvin Upton Jr. is debating whether Cueto did he break that front knee, or did he, you know what? The kind of funky footwork there. Let's check it out. Did he break down the knee a little bit?
Looked like he did. But obviously not using his A move because it was just a soft toss over to first base. That's the reason why he got back safely.
That one skips in, 1-2.
when it comes down to running against a Johnny Cueto, you got to be lucky first and foremost, but also try to time him. He gives you different times, different looks. See Melvin Upton Jr.
Yeah, he's talking with Lance Barrett. Hey, is that a legal move that he just showed us? Belt being that left-handed thrower with that glove right on the bag, and he makes every play mighty tight.
So much easier for the left-handed first baseman, but you think of Lance Barrett, that conversation Melvin Upton Jr. has with him, he's going to be more aware of what to look for.
And another nugget as far as throwing out runners, you mentioned Buster Posey, Mark Sweeney, 47% with the league average being around 30 to 32%. That is well above. 9 stolen bases, 8 caught stealing.
Broken bat, and Cueto makes it look easy. It is easy, and that's it for the Padres in the 4th inning. We go on to the 5th. 2-1 Giants.
Now, ballparks can inspire people and artists in various ways, and I'm here with S. Preston, MLB licensed artist. And you have a really interesting series called Ballpark Minimalist. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm a minimalist baseball artist. I started this series of designing all 30 MLB ballparks, and I've illustrated them all on the computer. I sent them on the internet, and I didn't know what was going to happen. They just went viral. It just started getting more and more popular. I've been on so many TV stations and whatnot. And then the MLB called me, and now I'm licensed by the MLB, and I sell my art everywhere around the country.
Your art has been featured in the Hall of Fame, various fan fests, and of course you'll be at the All-Star Game as well.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm going to be here in San Diego, in my home state here, and I get to I'll be one of the featured artists at the Art of Baseball section of Fan Fest. So come on out. It's a great time. It's a good time to see art, and the mixture of art and baseball is one of my passions.
And for Petco specifically, you've done the Western Metal Supply Company building, and you also have the Swinging Friar. That's pretty cool.
Of course. I tried to grab that one thing that a fan knows, and if you know your ballpark, you know it. And that's the one thing that I try to choose. And obviously, I mean, the Western Metal Supply Company is so iconic in this ballpark. And then I also started a new series about the minimalist mascots, which are just a fun and cute way to celebrate one of the permanent fans, the permanent member of the team. Never gets traded.
Very cool. Now, where can fans find your art and purchase?
You can go to my website on sprestondesigns.com, or you can go to MLB.com, and it's all available on their shop there also.
Very cool. We will see you at the All-Star Game. Thank you so much. Enjoy the game. Guys, I think I want one of these. Now you know what to get me for Christmas.
Why don't you get him a Padre hat at the same time? Huh? We'll trade him. Nicely done. Wallace gets the big hop by charging hard and takes care of Pagan to open the Giants' 5th inning. I have such great admiration for artists. I love art. I love to buy art, and it just, when you can't do something. I mean, my stick figures are, pretty nice. I mean, a couple of 2-year-old could do a stick figure drawing better than I don't get it.
You're not artistic?
I don't get it, but I love art. And I love what these people do.
How about color by number? Remember those as a kid?
Yeah,
Did
well,
you stay inside the lines?
Oh, you didn't go outside the lines now. Oh, no, no, no.
Sounded like you went outside the lines.
I wish. All right. Top of the order. Denard Span, a single and a walk, been on base both times. Also picked up his 6th steal of the season. Ground ball toward the hole and under the glove of Myers. Base hit. On base all 3 times, Denard Span. Joe Panik next.
You know, with that big wingspan at first base and that big frame for Wil Myers, I thought Will was going to maybe lay out for this one. 1-2, it's a skimmer. Thought he had a chance at that one.
And you got to keep your eye on Span. Panik is flying to left and struck out. On the edge.
Mark Sweeney, I mentioned it early. Bob Davidson, the home plate umpire, he's been calling it both ways.
Yeah.
He's been given that ball and a half width off the corners both ways. And if you're consistent with that, how does that work as a hitter?
Well, it's good. I mean, it really sets the tone early in the game. You know the strike zone. I don't have any problem with it expanding, especially on one side. But you have to have that consistency. If you know that first pitch being called and you go up in between innings and you see that he's giving it consistently, you have to make an adjustment. There's going to be people out there that say, hey, you got to hit strikes or strike. I believe that every game has that uniqueness, and you're going to have to be able to expand the strike zone. Just means to you as a lefty, and he gives you away, you can't power the baseball when it's off the plate.
Did you keep a book on umpires so that when you came into a ball game, you knew what you could expect from that certain umpire?
I didn't take a book, but you knew reputations and what they have, and if they're offensive minded or they have a bigger strike zone. I always was in tune to the beginning of the game because my at-bats came late in the ball game. I had to know the strike zone. I couldn't use an excuse of taking a third pitch when a guy had an out pitch because the umpire had a big zone. It just meant to me I had to be more aggressive in those situations.
2-1 now to Panik.
Mark, is that why you see a lot of pinch hitters, especially hitting late? They'll swing at that first pitch fastball if it's anywhere close because they don't want to get in that hole, right?
I say it. It's first pitch fastball on the plate. You're not afforded to look for middle in. And I say it all the time. Cut the plate in half. Well, if you're coming off the bench, you can't cut the plate in half. You have to hit the plate, and if it's off or you're fouling pitches off, you're going to be a statistic. You're going into the dugout.
Duffy waits his turn with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Span at first, 1 out, and the count 2-2. Joe Panik.
A perfect time to run if you're Span. You're thinking about trying to pick out one of those curveballs.
Well, Denard Span, he and Matt Duffy, teammates, were the only players to go perfect in a minimum of 10 stolen bases attempts in 2015.
Boy, the Giants really reaped well, didn't they, in the offseason with free agency? Cueto, Samardzija, Span. There he goes. High pop-up. They try to bluff Span, but he sees it's going to be Kemp to make the catch, and Span comes back to first with a 2 away. And a reminder that it's time for the greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, you have to feel for Freddie Gonzalez. What a good man. He takes over with the Atlanta Braves. They cleaned house. They sent all their good players away, and then they don't win, so he gets fired.
Really good manager and a good baseball man, as you said, Dick. And unfortunately, he has Freddie Freeman and some older veterans on that team that have struggled. But when it comes down to it, He was 2-17 at home.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, but now it's a new direction. And I've also heard the name of Buddy Black down in Atlanta.
I wondered about that. But if you're sitting on the sidelines, as is the case with Black up with the Anaheim Angels, maybe you wait for this season. It's not going to be a good year for the Braves. And let it play it out, and then you see what happens in the off year.
Well, going into the new stadium, you know that's their focus, and moving forward, it's still going to be tough to do that. But if you're trying to reel in some of the free agents out there, and it's a weak free agent class this year, you have a new stadium to be one of those selling points.
Span watches that ball to Duffy just outside.
Got to know Freddie Gonzalez a little bit, but his stock went up because when I talked to Bobby Cox, remember he coached under Bobby Cox, third base coach. And when Bobby Cox speaks highly of an individual like Freddie Gonzalez, hey,
that's all you need.
You know he's a good baseball guy.
I agree with you 100%.
Ground ball deep to short. Ramirez will have to go the long way, and he just does get the throw there on time. A little hitch in the get along there for Ramirez. He couldn't get the out at second, and then he had to brace and fire, and just did get Duffy at first base. As they go to the phone, we'll see whether or not they challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the 1/4 mark of the 2016 season. Halfway through this one, 40.5 innings, and 3/4 of the year to go. They're not going to challenge. Too much time anyway. It's 2-1 Giants. Hang that phone up. Get out of here. Back with the bottom of the 5th inning, Ramirez, who knocked in the Padre run with a single to center field, leads it off against Johnny Cueto. As he continues to somehow know what is coming from Cueto. 10 for 15 in this duel. And 2-1 the count.
Well, Ramirez has the ability to take the ball the other way. He commits to it, especially with a pitcher that pitches away from him.
Fly ball center field, innocent chance. Span puts it away for the first out, and that brings us to our San Diego fans of the game. You met some of these young folks before the game today.
Well, as fans for the Make-A-Wish Foundation of San Diego, we thank them for coming out to our set. What wonderful kids. Caitlin helped me with the pick to stick tonight. There's Caitlin to get the ball right there. What a beautiful smile, and what a great foundation Make-A-Wish is.
Good luck to those young men and women. And their night made very pleasant by the San Diego Padres. Jose Perella tapped out to the mound his first time. And how about the playing of the national anthem tonight? The Del Norte High School Band and Orchestra.
Beautiful.
Fabulous, huh?
Outstanding.
They were terrific. That was a sizable group. They had well over 100 musicians. Really filled Petco Park with the great sounds of our Star Spangled Banner.
And Dick, you and I agreed. I think that's the way it should be played every night.
Yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful.
2-1 to Perella. Chop to short. Tough play. Crawford's got a Gold Glove for good reason. 2 away. So Johnny Cueto, look what happens after the 3rd inning. He might be a little generous early, but watch out if he gets beyond the 3rd into the 4th.
I think he focuses on tendencies. He changes different looks. You've seen the different motions. Very difficult, not only with the stuff coming out of his right arm, but also the different tempo changes. It's all about timing and rhythm in this game, and he makes it tougher as the game goes on.
And the Padres run in the 2nd inning. Fastball strike to Pomerantz. Struck out swinging the first time.
You know the phrase, boy, if I had to do it all over again, ... Injuries were a big part of why I quit. And I say I quit because not I'm a quitter, because I think you have to be good to retire. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
wait a minute, let me
anyway,
wrap my mind around that one.
I would do so many things differently from a pitching standpoint. Just like Cueto does, mixing up my delivery, arm angles, have some fun with it.
Yes.
We'll continue that story, the Mark Grant story, if he can do it over again. Coming right back. Don't go away. More to come. Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Infinity. Visit your local San Diego area Infinity retailer for a test drive today. By Jack in the Box, taste the bacon-licious sourdough bacon ranch combo. And by Petco, your complete pet store. 5 innings in the books. Giants 2 runs and 4 hits, no errors. The Padres 1 run, 3 hits and no errors. Drew Pomerantz with 93 tosses so far goes to work in the top of the 6th inning. Posey, Pence, and Belt to hit for the Giants. So you were saying, Mark Grant, that what you would do is you'd come back and bring more variety,
yes,
huh?
A little bit more crafty, and I did a little bit of that in 1995 when I was with the Des Moines, Iowa Cubs. And I thought, you know what? I'm at the end of my leash. I'm going to have some fun with it rather than just trying to be the traditional pitcher that I've been for the past 16 years. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to try to quick pitch. I'm going to lower my arm angle. I'm going to flip up a hit-me slider the first pitch of the game. I'm going to throw an 85-mile-an-hour 2-seam fastball to get ahead. And it was fun. Sure, you get burned once in a while, But I'll tell you what, it was less taxing on your body, and it was fun when you found yourself in the eighth inning and you're only throwing like 85, 90 pitches.
Well, I got to agree with you, too. And you think about it from the retirement standpoint, players like us, we just turn our uniforms in, and they tell you when it's over. I mean, understandable, and that's what we really want to do. And I make a joke of it, but it's the truth. Yeah. But you think of it from the hitter's perspective. Don Mattingly, I'll never forget this. Don Mattingly came in after I was struggling with the Dodgers. He said, "Hey, what do you think of the leg kick?" And I was really simple at my approach, but this was my last year in the big leagues, and doing something that drastic really didn't make much sense. Well, I tried it that night. I struck out in 3 pitches. I got embarrassed on the changeup.
Posey drives it to center, but Jankowski roams to his right and makes the play. And here comes Hunter Pence. Talk about an unorthodox hitter. We're seeing a pitcher, Cueto, and Pence, there's no swing quite like his.
He's got the leg kick, Mark Sweeney. First pitch, curveball, 0-1. Second pitch, curveball, 0-2. Now 2 points about this next pitch. A, he's got to protect with 2 strikes. Fastball, he's jumping all over it. And 2, if you're going to throw that fastball 0-2, it better be up around the lid of the cap, up around that SF, or even higher.
Because he'd already seen 2 pitches low and away, so now you throw another pitch away. Right. And he's already thinking going that way. Huh?
Well, sometimes you have to tip your cap, too. Hunter Pence was very strong and capitalized on a pitch that he could handle.
0-2. The Giants right fielder.
I think he committed himself to that whole at bat to a fastball when it comes down to it. And when you commit like that, you are locked into something just coming out hard out of the hands of Pomeranz.
Oh, what a play by Pomeranz. That was not even. Then he throws it low, and Pence is safe on the air. He makes a terrific play and then skips his throw over to Myers, and Pence is aboard on the air of Pomeranz. He took a base hit away from Pence. That was on its way to center field.
Many parts to a good play. One is the snatch. He snags it. Now he's got to make a good throw, and he throws the dart, lawn dart, and he tries to guide that one to stay up, and Will Myers cannot pick it. Can't get control of it, and that's why you give 90 feet. That's why you've got to hustle every time out of that box.
Well, most times as hitters, you're frustrated that the pitcher just snagged that hot shot up the middle, and you're running in frustration.
Not Pence. That's why they love him in San Francisco. He's a 100% player. Bunted in the air again, and Pomeranz able to squeeze the out as Brandon Pelt now may get one more at bat. He will. He's got a 24-game streak of reaching base safely for the Giants this year, but he struck out twice and tried to bunt his way on here.
Mark Sweeney, is that a favorite of the Padres right there, what Brandon Belt just did? I mean,
I don't get it.
I don't understand that.
With the power and also the way he is swinging the bat.
That's a free out.
It is. It's a free out, and someone that's doing something that doesn't come natural to them. You think about the minor leagues and how many numbers he's put up and the home run prowess. He didn't think about bunting. Now he has to because of the shifts.
And granted, he struck out twice tonight, but still, don't you want to give yourself a chance to maybe work the count and get a good pitch to drive?
When you got the lead, you want to change the game, and he can change it with a 2-run lead. And with a home run, and your 2-run homer changes this game. And with Johnny Cueto the way he's throwing, that could be lights out.
Crawford fouls it back. 1-1 to the Giants shortstop, who is fouled out, and he tried to bunt as well, and bunted it right to Myers at first base for a free out. Well, St. Louis shut out Colorado tonight in St. Louis 2-0. Dodgers and the Angels in the Freeway Series, and the Angels at home lead 5-1 in the 5th inning. Arizona's won the first 2 games against the Yankees, but trailing tonight. Swing and a miss 2-2.
A lot of the pitches, the 4 pitchers, been up and out of the zone for Drew Pomeranz. Looked like he had cut action on it, working around that baseball a little bit.
That's that high pitch that he clubbed for the home run last night. 3-1. Yankees lead in the 7th at Arizona.
Mark Sweeney, what was your first big league hit?
First big league hit was a singer off Mike Bolsinger.
Nice. Brandon Crawford, grand slam. First big league hit. What a way to break into the big leagues, huh? Back in 2011.
Probably a memorable moment.
Oh.
He's a talented young man. Plays a shortstop very well. Made himself into a pretty good hitter.
Pops it up. Foul territory, Wallace. Two outs here in the home half of the 7th.
Our Nissan Fox Tracks has those right down and away off the plate a little bit. And there's no reason why he won't go back out there. Put a wrinkle in one probably. Yep.
Way out there and low. 2-2. Well, John Jay out of the dugout has a bat. He's in the on-deck circle. Ramirez can keep it going. We'll see the return of the Padres leadoff man Jay as the pinch hitter for Pirela. High fly ball right center, hanging for Pence, who squeezes the final out. We've completed 7. The Giants 2, the Padres 1.
Mark and I are working on Padres Live, the post-game show, which will be brought to you by Cox Communication. But first, our Carl's Jr. star of the game right now has to be the Giants pitcher, Johnny Cueto.
You know what? The athleticism that he has shown tonight and working his way into this, he's shown everything. Obviously, that first pitch strike success has been very important, but also when he gets to that point, he can punch them out with location, different arm angles, different movement with his thing, and then also the defense against Matt Kemp on his backhand and the accuracy. Very athletic right-hander.
Yeah, maybe underrated as an athlete in general is Johnny Cueto. Right now, the Padres need to come back in this one when we see after the final out. In addition, we're going to compare both starters, Drew Pomeranz and Johnny Cueto. You'll also hear from Andy Green, plus highlights from all around the league. So right now, let's get back up to Dick and Mark, guys.
All right, the M&M team will be with you after the final out. 2-1, the Giants, and they bring up Panik, Duffy, and Posey against the new Padre pitcher, Brandon Maurer. Panik is 0 for 3 tonight. 96 on that fastball.
20th game for Brandon. Maurer power. Good splits. Righties 206, lefties 189. And look at the strikeouts to innings pitched. 26 Ks in 19 frames.
Opposing hitters batting only 197 against Maurer. Pours that fastball in at 96. That one rolled to Myers.
Oh.
Easy flip. He could have taken to the bag himself, and they flirt with a tough play there.
Yeah.
Got to get the out. 3-1. Well, tomorrow, Jeff Samardzija, the right-hander, free agent pickup by the Giants, and he's done well at 5-2 record against the Padres' James Shields. Another interesting matchup. Two outstanding right-handers. Hope you'll be with us 5:30, an hour earlier tomorrow, the Thursday night game. And first pitch at 6:10. Be with us for Padres Live here on Fox Sports San Diego. There are the two featured hurlers for tomorrow night. Duffy is lined to short, grounded to third, and grounded to short. Only 4 hits for the Giants, 3 for the Padres. But the one big blow, Hunter Pence after the leadoff walk to Posey in the 4th. Pence hitting the home run to the opposite field, just cleared the wall into the home run deck for the 2 Giant runs. Padres got their run back in the 2nd, a double by Wallace leading off, and with 2 outs, Ramirez brought him home with a single to center. Well, appropriately, it's time now to check the Cholula flamethrower.
And with Brandon Maurer on the hill, Maurer power is in order, and the right hand. 99? 99! Hot sauce! That's hot sauce.
I think he heard you. Right back with a 98-mile-an-hour strike 3. Duffy frozen on that fastball.
That is 98, 99. I'll tell you what, out in Alpine, that's about 398 a gallon.
Is it really?
Oh, 98 octane. Oh, coming in hot.
High octane from Brandon Maurer. Here's Buster Posey, a single and a walk, and a line drive to center. Just wide at 96.
Would you like to stand in there, Dick, just to get a feel? No, man, he's not going to hit you.
No, I know. I tried that way back when I was doing the Angel games with Nolan Ryan.
Did you?
Yeah. You talk about having your whole body weight and hanging toward the third base dugout, and you could hear the ball sing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like to hear that ball sing. Chop deep to third, and Wallace in foul territory. The Padres, time running out, but they need only the one big swing, trailing 2-1. Maurer trying to keep the Giants in check. High pop up. Myers has a play in foul territory. Oh, that was way up toward the stars. 1-2-3. Maurer takes care of the Giants in the 8th. History, a 9-inning shutout up in San Francisco 3 weeks ago, and 1 run and 3 hits tonight he's allowed. 6 outs to go, and the Padres are going to go to the bench and use a couple of pinch hitters here down deep in the lineup. Jose Perella's schedule. It looks like John Jay's going to hit for him, and Alexi Amarista, back from his injury, is on deck and scheduled, at least at the moment, to hit for the pitcher Brandon Maurer. And then it'll be Travis Jankowski, 3 left-handed hitters against Cueto. Good to see John Jay back in action. Comes out swinging.
That looked like a nice fluid swing right there from John Jay.
Sharply hit to Belt at first base. 1 out. Julie Alexandria, what do you have for us?
Well, it's good to see John Jay back up at the plate. He woke up this morning, said he felt a lot better, especially that shoulder. They were contemplating doing some extensive tests just to see if there was any more damage, but he said he felt good. He took some swings in the cage today, took BP. Andy Green says he hopes to get him back in the lineup in 1 or 2 days.
All right, it's good to see him back in form. Probably see him, if not tomorrow night, against the Dodgers this weekend. Here's Alexi Amarista back with the club. Recovering from that hamstring pull, he was able to get only 21 at-bats before the injury and 7 base hits. 333 average.
Yeah, good to see Alexi back. And you know, I can't read minds, but what I gathered from John Jay grounding out, when he went back into the dugout, he was down the steps and somebody caught his attention. He looked to his right and he said, okay. He shook his head yes as affirmative. I'm just guessing. I'm thinking Andy Green may have said, hey, John, how do you feel after that swing? And all signs look positive for John Jay after that swing in the bat there.
Testing that injured shoulder. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Amarista.
20th first pitch strike for Johnny Cueto.
Amazing.
Up here against Alexi Amarista.
I mean, he came at a high price, but he's a feature player. Well, that's strike 3, and Amarista, either the ball was out of the strike zone. I don't know whether Davidson punched him out on the check swing. Matters not. Another strikeout. It's number 4 for Cueto.
Well, here it is. The cutter on the outside corner, and
he went around. And batting for Travis Jankowski, Christian Bethancourt. Jankowski 0 for 3, a flyout, ground out, and struck out. Andy Green looking for the long ball, and Bethancourt can hit him as far as anyone. Ball 1.
Ryan Buchter, the lefty. Fernando Rodney, the righty.
Line drive, base hit. Bethancourt delivers into left center field. Span cuts it off, and Bethancourt will pull up after a big turn at first.
Well, there's the bloop. Padres need a blast. It's getting late. Little slider cutter. That looks like a cutter. Off the end of the bat. Good plate coverage by Christian Bethancourt. Foot is down. Throw the hands. A barrel follows. And the go-ahead run comes up to the plate for San Diego.
Will Myers, a couple of strikeouts and ground ball to third the last time. Ball 1. '97th pitch coming up from Cueto. Both bullpens busy. Corey Guerin. Cody Guerin. A ball and a strike to Myers. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Tying run at first for the Padres. Hits the edge again.
Look at that pinpoint control.
Yeah, he could pitch blindfolded.
Yeah, on pitch number 98. It's almost like he was mouthing what he wanted to throw to Buster Posey right there.
Way outside. Bethancourt, for a big guy, has good speed. Trying to get around on a possible gapper. Kemp hoping he gets a chance. Fly ball slicing into the right field corner, and into the corner goes Pence, and it's just out of play.
You know, I think in this situation, Will Myers, yeah, he's got to pop the opposite way. He's got to probably think away as Hunter Pence runs out of room here and over the railing. Will Myers gets another shot. Got Johnny Cueto.
He's hit the century mark.
Let's see if he tries to keep the ball away here.
And the full count. That's a break for the Padres because now Bethancourt will get a couple of extra steps taken off on the pitch. Outfield at a couple of steps deeper, doubles defense. Struck him out. Third time tonight, Myers punched out by Cueto. He's gone through 8, allowing just 1 run. We go to the 9th. Giants 2, Padres 1. Run came in the 9th inning. Matt Kemp's home run. Only 5 hits from the left-hander, and now Cueto tonight. 1 run and 4 hits. As Ryan Buchter comes in to the lineup here in the 9th inning. Buchter has done a good job holding opposing hitters to a 143 average so far this year. As we check the Bill Howe play of the game, 4th inning. Drew Pomeranz to Hunter Pence, just out of the reach of Matt Kemp. Barely over that right field wall. A 357 footer for Pence and with Posey aboard, and those are the 2 giant runs. Amarista stays in the game at second, and Jay goes into center field as we go to the 9th inning. Pence, Belt, and Crawford for the Giants. He struck out safe on an error, and then that big 2-run homer. Among the leaders in the National League in RBIs, Pence is 30th and 31st tonight. Too low. 2-1. Looking ahead, bottom of the 9th inning, the Padres have the home run hitters coming up. Kemp, Wallace, and Upton. See if Cueto stays for the 9th. Wild wave, 2-2. Always marveled at how he chokes up on the bat at home run hitter Pence. Oh, that just missed inside. Full count.
I love how Ryan Buchter really buries that fastball into righties. He's not afraid to be aggressive with that fastball in. It's sharp, it's firm.
Couple of hops to Ramirez at short. On the run, he throws him out. One down here in the 9th. Brandon Belt trying to extend that on base percentage. He's reached with a hit or a walk or an error 24 straight games. But 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Tried to bunt his way on and popped out to the pitcher. Buchter is a stunning story here at age 29, finally getting a chance to be with a big club for at least from the start of the season. He pitched in only one major league game prior to this year. That was with the Braves, and he got a win in that one game 2 years ago. He's kind of labored in the minor leagues, a career minor leaguer, and you see the kind of stuff he has and how well he's pitched. He's a nugget that A.J. Preller has found.
No question about it, and has the mindset to where he comes to the ballpark. Yeah, he might pitch 4 innings. He might have to get only one left-hander out.
Falls behind here.
You know, you can go over the course of history of baseball and when the specialization of pitchers came into play. You know, there have been a lot of left-handers that pitch a long time just because they can get that 1 or 2 left-handers out in a ball game and have a nice career.
Big swing by Belt. It's 2-2. The attendance tonight, 23,518 here at Petco.
High fastball, 4-seamer up.
There's room for you tomorrow night, but remember 1 hour earlier the game time, and we'll be on the air at 5:30 here on Fox Sports San Diego. High pop-up. Left side, the only man there is Ramirez. The shift was on, and so goes the on-base streak unless we go on to extra innings tonight. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, don't quit on Cueto or versus Cueto. 1 run, 5 strikeouts tonight versus Johnny Cueto, and Pomeranz continue all-star performance. He's putting up all-star numbers. 6 innings, 4 hits. He pitched 12 tonight, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts for Drew. Nicely done. Just didn't get a lot of support tonight.
And that one pitch to Pence barely cleared the wall in right after Buster Posey had walked to lead off the inning. Crawford fouled out, tried to bunt his way, and fouled out again. Cueto is in the on-deck circle. And apparently, he's going to come out for the 9th. 2 strikes on Crawford. It doesn't get much easier tomorrow night for the Padre hitters. Jeff Samardzija, 5-2 with an ERA of 2.88. underline the fact that this big three and the Padres getting all three of them in the series have been dominant throughout the season. 18-7 their record. Swept to the second baseman Amarista. A 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Buchter. Padres last call. They trail 2-1. It'll be Matt Kemp, who homered last night in the ninth inning, to lead it off for San Diego. They need a run to tie and 2 to win. So the bottom of the ninth inning, Matt Kemp, then Brett Wallace, Melvin Upton for the Padres against Johnny Cueto, trying to close his own deal, just as Madison Bumgarner last night on. Brilliant 1-run, 5-hit performance. Did give up the home run to Kemp in the ninth inning, and here's Kemp to lead off the ninth tonight. 10 home runs on the season, and his home run was a monster shot to the third level of the Western Metal Supply Company building last night. Another call for Cueto. And here is the shot last night. No doubt about it.
Yeah, Madison Bumgarner tried to go with the sneaky fastball in, and Matt Kemp turned on it.
That was only about 8 feet from hitting the roof of the Metal Supply Company building.
Now, you can guarantee that Cueto, if he's going to go in, I was just going to say, he better get it way in. That last pitch, number 3 on the Fox Tracks, brought to you by Nissan, was on the inner part of the plate on the corner. He doesn't want to leave something middle in for a strike that he can turn on.
23,518, trying to stir a Padre rally here in the bottom of the ninth. Only 4 hits off Cueto. And down goes Kemp. 6 strikeouts for Cueto.
I'll tell you what, Johnny Cueto is saving his best for last, because as we take a look at this pitch here, fastball away. Going with the slider down and away. Now here's the pitch where he tries to sneak it inside and Matt fights it off. Now, 2 strikes, changeup. That's one of the better changeups, and you can see how far out in front Matt Kemp is. And how about last inning, Dick, when he struck out Will Myers? That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. That was the best fastball velocity-wise tonight from Johnny Cueto.
Saving it for like his 100th pitch. Here's Brett Wallace. Wallace has one of the 4 hits and scored the only Padre run. Led off the second with a double pulled sharply past first base into the right field corner. And with 2 outs, Alexei Ramirez brought him home with a single. But since then, Cueto giving up only 2 hits, both harmless singles. Wallace with the power to tie it up. Matt Cain, Samardzija, Jake Peavy there in the front row for the Giants. the fastball through the swing of Wallace. 1-2. After the double in the second inning, he's flying to left and grounded into the shift to the second baseman Panik, who's out in shallow right field. And another strikeout. That's 3 in a row. He struck out Myers to end the 8th inning, and he gets both Kemp and Wallace here in the 9th.
This time the slider down and in by that back foot. You really can't get hurt down there if you're a right-handed pitcher and you're up against a left-handed power hitter like Brett Wallace. Not much you can do with that pitch.
Short-changed him a strikeout, Mark Grant. That's his 8th tonight. And here's Melvin Upton. He has a single in 3 trips. Home runs on the season for Upton. The man came with his lunch pail tonight, didn't he? Good piece of work. 111 pitches for Johnny Cueto. Not a one walk and 8 strikeouts. 4 hits. And the Padres are down to their last strike. Outside.
That ball was well off the plate.
Outside again. Grimacing is Cueto. Hey, that ball is you can't expect to get that for a strike 3 to end the game. But he has gotten a lot of borderline pitches throughout the night. He's earned them. Those aren't close. So 2-2 to Upton. Three and 2. If Upton can keep it alive, Derek Norris is next. Ball 4. Tying runs aboard. That'll bring the winning run to the plate. Second walk tonight from Cueto.
Well, sometimes a hitter has to be patient and pass it on to the next guy to make a difference in the ball game. This was a nice battle by Melvin Upton Jr. against Johnny Cueto. Up in the zone, up in the zone. Oh, a little shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Puff. Trying to peck away at that outside corner. Ball again. Melvin Upton Jr. is not biting. Change up, pass it on to the next guy. There's your bloop. Now the Padres need a blast.
Really a terrific at bat for Upton. He was in the hole 2 strikes and earns the walk. Here's Norris. He walked the last time and pops it up. Posey has a play. And the Giants win 2-1. What pitching? Mike Pomerantz?
Very strong, Dick. Mark, when we see in the post-game show, we'll break down Johnny Cueto's night. In particular, what made him so dynamic this evening. You'll also hear from Andy Green and some trouble at the top of the Padres lineup. All that and more in moments.